Hello. So today I wanted to talk more about my personal morning routine for more energy and less stress. And I have a lot of clients that come to me asking about a morning routine, how to create a morning routine. And we did an awesome podcast in episode 27 of the Live Well podcast with my friend and colleague, Neil, about how to create a personalized morning routine, which a lot of you found helpful. And today I just wanted to share mine personally, and how it's evolved over time, and how I specifically use my morning routine to help increase energy and decrease stress, which are two things that I have a feeling most of you are dealing with. We all are. So for me, my morning routine actually starts in the evening. And what I do in the evening is I make sure I look over my schedule for the next day, and I make sure I'm aware of any appointments, commitments, and things that are happening in the morning. So I can take that stress off of myself, and I can know, okay, I don't have a client till 9 a.m. And so I have this time before that to be able to do what I need to do. Some days, maybe it's a little bit earlier. Maybe I have a phone call or I need to speak with someone. So what you want to do is the evening before is actually when this can start, and you can alleviate some of the stress from yourself. Because if you don't, what I was finding personally is if I didn't check into that the evening before, I would wake up in the morning kind of stressed, like, what time do I have to get started today? Or what's going on today? Or who am I seeing? Or did I prep this? Did I prep this? And I wasn't able to fully relax into a morning routine. So the morning routine for me starts in the evening. And the second piece of that in the evening that's really important to me is putting my phone outside of the bedroom. And this is not something I've done forever, but probably the last 2 years or so, I have made a commitment to do this, because having my phone in the bedroom with me is just energetically was not great. Even if it's on silent, to me, I felt like I was connected. Like it was still in there with me. It was super easy to grab if I needed it. It's close to my bedside. And aside from, radiation and having phones and cell phones and things really close to us that aren't good for you, it was just harder to sleep. And so a really, really important thing that I counsel a lot of my clients on are technology boundaries, or putting, boundaries around how we use our technology. But specifically for sleeping, it's a really, really, really good idea, if possible, to put your phone outside of your room. So I use a different alarm clock, a wake-up light. I use a wake-up light because I live in Seattle and it gets really dreary and gray. So in the winter, it's nice to have this wake-up light. But you just need a separate alarm that's not your phone. And you can get something super cheap. So plugging your phone in outside, letting it be, potentially having a time where you stop with your technology. And that's something I'm going to speak about evening routine in a separate post, but something you can do as well there. So sleeping without the phone, also because the phone can have lights, it can make noise, which can totally disrupt your sleep and set you up for not optimal, not deep sleep, and can make it harder in the morning to wake up. So that's a big part of my morning routine as well as what I do in the evening and what I do with my technology. So when I wake up in the morning, and I want you to first think about this for yourself too. What is the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning? What is it? Just have a think about, what do you do? Do you hit snooze? Do you start to get really stressed and check your phone? What do you do first thing in the morning? It's a great place to start. Just ask yourself that. And for me, as part of my morning routine, being quite honest, the first thing are thoughts of what I have to do flood to me. I get that kind of rush of consciousness of, oh my gosh, I have to do this, I have to do this. Or, oh, I got to think about this for this client. I got to prep this. I literally think about clients in my sleep. We'll wake up with some remnants of this and want to write something down. So instead of giving into that, which is something I have done for many years, and I still sometimes do, instead of giving into that, taking a pause and just saying, okay, this is happening. The rush to consciousness is happening. I'm feeling all these thoughts. Yeah. And I'm going to let them go. And I let them go because I looked at the night before. I know what I need to do. Everything's okay. Sometimes I will lay in bed, put my hand on my heart, just breathe for a second and acknowledge that I made it to this day. Here I am in this day and I'm alive. Because at the end of the day, we don't always know. So here I am. And from there I wake up, and what I do is, instead of going and checking my phone straight away, which is something I also did for years, have limits around that in the morning. And that's probably one of the most crucial pieces of my morning routine. It's something I have to be as strict to myself with, because it's challenging. So my phone is in the other room, and I don't check my phone until I've gone through what I've intended to do for my morning routine. Another thing I find it to be really helpful is to set an intention for what you're going to do for your morning routine before you actually do it. So if you have it in your head, yeah, I'm going to do this meditation, I'm going to do this, and whatever, it's a lot easier that when you get to that time, you don't just, send it away and say, no, I don't have time. Oh, I see you guys have joined. Hi, Georgia. Let me know if you guys have any questions too in the comments. I'm happy to answer them live about your morning routine and anything that comes up. So I'm going to talk through this, but let me know. So having limits on technology in the morning, super important, because we all know how it can be if we just check one thing and we go and say, I'm just going to look at this one thing, and we get swept into our day so instantly. And the point of having a morning routine is having a bit of a buffer between yourself and the things you need to do that day. Because if we just go straight into our day, then we become super reactive. We're reacting to everything that gets thrown at us, and we start that in the morning. So the goal of having this morning routine, or a little bit of a buffer, is that we're able to become a little bit more proactive for the rest of our day, and it can really set us up for success for the entire day. So seeing for you, are you someone that grabs your phone right away and starts to dive into things, start scrolling, start looking through Instagram? How does it make you feel? Start looking at your email, all the things you have to do. Give yourself that pause if you can to not do that. So that's what I do personally. It's made a huge difference in how I feel and how I'm able to show up the rest of the day. I will say I'm not always perfect at it, because it's a hard one for me, but it's a really a critical piece of it. So from there, I get up and I take my supplements that I need to take on an empty stomach. So that's something that I have to build into my routine to make it automated so it's easy and I remember. This changes all the time. Currently, I am taking L-glutamine for my gut to help heal and seal the lining of the gut, and a couple other supplements and vitamins that I take in the morning on an empty stomach. Some of them. So I just do that. I put that into my day. I have a big glass of water with that. And then what I move into next is dedicating 10 to 20 minutes, depending on the day and what I can do, for meditation. And what it has been lately is guided meditations from Insight Timer, is the app that I'm currently into and is working well. And I feel into, what do I want? What do I need? I have a couple go-tos that I love. And I pick those, and it's either 10, sometimes if I have more time, I do 20 minutes. And what I allow in this time is shifting inward, taking a minute to see where I'm at, doing an inventory of my body, of my mind. How am I feeling? It's taking this pause for myself. And like I said, it's 10 to 20 minutes. And I use guided meditations. You can sit in silence. You can sit and breathe. You can set an alarm. I highly recommend setting an alarm so you don't just meditate endless and get worried about your schedule. So just setting something and having limits. And what this allows me to do is just check in about, where am I at? How am I feeling? What am I needing? But most importantly, how do I want to feel the rest of the day? And I say feel because it's really more about getting into this feeling space. I want to feel energized. Do I want to feel calm? Do I want to feel productive? How do I want to feel? And I start to just shift into that energy a little bit and set myself up for success, because we don't know what the day is going to throw at you. You don't know what crisis is going to come up, or what's going to happen personally or in work. And I find that if I rush into my day in that reactive mode, it's a lot harder to take some of these things that might come up. But if I take that time to have a buffer and set up, how do I want to feel? I connect back into myself. I connect back into my power. I understand, am I super tired today? Do I really need to take it easy? Or do I feel pretty good? Can I push it? Can I push my limits a little bit? And I'm able to know that for the rest of my day. So for me, doing that, 10, 20-minute meditation is something that sometimes felt forced and sometimes isn't something I wanted to do. But now it's essential. It's essential, and it sets me up for my entire day. And if I don't do it, which is pretty rare these days, I feel it and I can notice a difference. So that piece is really important to me. Sometimes I will use essential oils or like incense or candles or whatever, just to help get me into a place of feeling like I am, taking time to do something different as opposed to just rushing in through my day. So from there, if I am taking a shower, which does not happen every day, sometimes happens at night, sometimes doesn't happen at all. But if I am doing that, I will sometimes do dry brushing before, which is a practice this is really amazing and detoxifying. But for me, I love it because it's really energizing. It feels really like stimulating and good. And so I just do once or twice over with the dry brush, and you can feel just kind of a buzzing energy throughout your day. So if you are someone that feels kind of dragging when you wake up, there's a lot of different reasons for that. This is what I work through a lot with my one-on-one clients, really understanding the roots of some of this. But something like dry brushing can be really energizing and can just sort of say, okay, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go in my day. Taking a shower and getting going from there. And then it's usually starting my work, either seeing clients or doing admin work or prepping for clients or whatever it is. But I move into my day from there. So you can see that it doesn't take a ton of time, but for me, I do carve out this chunk of time. So I wake up earlier so that I can do this. And when I worked at the hospital, and I was much more at the mercy of bus schedules and, really strict start times. Like I literally had to clock in. If I was 4 minutes off, you get deducted from your pay. So you don't have that flexibility. And you can still cultivate a really nice morning routine, even if you don't have a ton of time. That's what I want to highlight too. So what you want to do are some of those steps I spoke about of prepping before. That also might look like if you need to bring food with you, you prep before. So you would set up, some snacks or lunch or whatever it is before. For me in the morning, I always make sure that I am having something pretty soon that helps to balance blood sugar, that has a little bit of protein and fat. So if I don't feel like eating a full meal, which sometimes I don't, I always make my matcha drink that has matcha, has some coconut milk, some collagen peptides, sort of protein and fat there, and a little bit of cinnamon and some water. And I have that, so it gives me something in my stomach because balancing blood sugar is really important for me. It's really important for a lot of people. And then from there, maybe I have something a little bit more substantial later on. You might want something bigger in the morning if you're then going to be on the go. So depending on how much time you have, deciding what you're going to do the night before for the morning is going to give you a whole lot more success. Just decide and say, no matter what, this is what I'm doing. And this is how much time I need to allow myself in order to do it. So then you don't allow yourself to just hit snooze a million times. You have something in your mind that you're going to go to. And if you're really, really short on time, what I suggest is just taking a minute, setting an alarm or setting a timer in the morning where you set 5 minutes. Just set 5 minutes, and all you have to do is just breathe, get present, take this buffer time, and get into a feeling space of how you want to feel. And this is really important because it starts to train the mind and then the body to get into this feeling space of how you want to feel, not just what is thrown at you in that moment. So you might just get into this feeling space of wanting to feel empowered at work, wanting to feel, successful, wanting to feel loved or cared for, or wanting to feel calm, more ease in your day. Maybe that's what you're inviting in. So all you're doing is setting an alarm for 5 minutes, and you're just getting into the place of how you want to feel. What is your intention for that day? How do you want to feel at the beginning of the day? How do you want to feel at the end of the day when you move through? just get into that space. That's all you need to do, and then move on from there. So even if you only have 5 minutes in your morning, you can do that. And I guarantee you can find 5 minutes. It may be that you need to wake up 5 minutes earlier, but decide that the evening before. So it's possible for everyone to have a morning routine that gives you more energy and increases calm and reduces stress. And that's the goal of having a morning routine like this. So like I said, there's a full podcast episode 27 with Cass O'Neill about how to create this morning routine. And if you want to delve further into this, I highly recommend checking that one out. She gives some more ideas, more tips to build off of this. But I wanted to tell you mine specifically so you can see kind of how it's evolved and grown and how you might be able to implement some of these things easily into your own life. So I would love to hear in the comments what your morning routine is like. Maybe how you feel in the morning, or maybe also how you want to feel in the morning. Those might be two different things right now, and we can bring those together. So I'd love to hear from you. As always, if you have any questions, I am here. I always offer free 30-minute discovery calls for people to get clear on what are some of your main health concerns at the moment, what are you dealing with, and what are some of the things standing in your way. So we do all of that in the discovery call. I'm able to hear more about you and your story. I'm able to tell you more about myself. And we create a plan for you to really see, okay, this is where you are. This is where you want to be. How can we get you there? Because it's always possible. We just have to understand what are some of the blocks that have been coming up. So feel free to book in a 30-minute discovery call. I'd love to chat with you. I'm taking some more clients in the next couple months for my one-on-one coaching program. And if this resonates, I would love to speak with you and see if we're a good fit. So definitely you can book those in on my website, christinatidwell.com, or you can send me an email at info@christinatidwell.com. And I look forward to speaking with you soon. All right.